Hi everyone, this is my second dream catalog field report to go over what has been showing up in my dreams for the last 2 months. So if you missed the first video, it's linked below so you can get an idea of what I'm doing here. But in brief, I've been recording 2 to 7 dreams every night since May 2025, and a couple months after that, created a pretty in-depth dream catalog in Notion to track it all. So I've been doing Jungian style dream interpretation, as well as the process lined out by Robert Johnson in his book Inner Work to work with these dreams. So to kick it off, here are some personal observations that I think could potentially be helpful for other people. The first is a significant shift in shadow work. So I've spent a lot of time over the last 15 years digging around in my psyche and soul, and a decent amount of that has been some form or other of shadow work. I was raised in an evangelical Christian family, and it played a major role in my life until my mid-20s. So it's been quite the challenge to move beyond the idea that I'm inherently a sinner deserving hell. The layers of that onion go pretty deep. And while consciously I've let go of that, I still find some surprising relics deep in my psyche that originate from this belief. So, my dream work over the past 2 months has entered some really fascinating territory. I'm seeing movement around the subconscious thought of there's something wrong with me and I must suffer to change it. And to my amazement, I'm watching this change. I'm seeing that if I just show up to my dreams, pay attention, and take quiet, simple direction, my psyche can and will begin to change in profound ways I didn't think was possible. A neutrality and gentleness towards self is emerging, as well as more neutrality around how I observe the tactics and subconscious patterns that have been in play for most of my life. And I'm experiencing what feels like tectonic shifts happening inside of me, primarily through just doing dream work. Most potent has been doing small rituals to honor whatever dreams I interpret, and then just watching myself shift from the inside out in the days after. It's wild and also insanely relieving. So a second observation that hasn't been present for me over these past couple months is being careful to not approach my dreams as like trying to extract meaning, but like approach your dreamer the way you would approach a relationship with another person. It's not transactional. And if your dreamer is approached transactionally, you'll likely miss what they're trying to communicate to you. Just think about those people that always want to get something from you and how that feels interacting with them. Don't do this to your dreamer. It's a lifelong relationship, so treat it that way with care and respect, patience, time, and the deep trust that this relationship will bring so much value to your life. And also remembering they too are committed to being with you. So, all right, let's move into some of the stats for these last 2 months. So, some of the primary organizational frames I'm using to sort my dreams are felt experience on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being very significant, 1 being pretty mundane, normal. And I'm noting the trends of that scale throughout the month. I'm also tracking lucidity in dreams, 0 to 5 scale, 0 being no lucidity at all, 1 to 2 being some level of awareness that I'm dreaming, and 3 to 5 being awareness that I'm dreaming and making some conscious attempt to interact with the dream. So what sticks out for these last 2 months is I had double the amount of category 3 dreams than what the pattern has been so far, and a few more category 2 dreams per month than previously noted. I also went from 0 to 1 lucid dreams per month to actually having 2 last month and so far 2 this month. So we'll see if that continues to improve. I'm seeing most of the day-to-day subconscious work happens in that category 2 to 3 zone, with category 1 being either integration or almost a break. So though I'm still dreaming all night, the content is pretty chill, calm and simple, so it almost feels like an integration break. With that, I'm beginning to notice different types of dreams and also how they seem to form these cycle arcs throughout the month based on what I'm moving through internally. And I'll talk more about this here in a sec. I'm starting to see a few types of dreams emerging as I continue to review my dreams daily and begin to work with ones that fall into the felt significance category 1 and 2 rather than just focusing on category 3 to 5 dreams. So far, it's looking like I move through about 2 to 3 arcing cycles per month if I'm consistently showing up to dream interpretation. So, what do I mean by a cycle arc? I'm observing multiple dreams over the course of a few nights that seem to be almost part of a related series, but it feels more accurate to call them like an arcing cycle. And these cycles are made up of a few different types of dreams. So this is kind of what I'm seeing. One, I'll have an insight dream, and this is the emergence of a helpful insight on what I'm moving through in life. That's usually a category 3 to 5 dream on the felt significance scale. The second type of dream I'm seeing, I'm going to call a facet dream, but it's like a reiteration or added nuance in different dream form or intensity of a scene. And this often happens if dream work isn't done the day after the insight dream happens. So that's usually a category 2. The third type of dream that I'm seeing is what I'll call a refinement dream. And this is additional comments or refinements on the topic at hand after the dream work and ritual has been done. So I'll usually do the dream work in between a facet dream and the refinement dream, and this additional kind of like clarity will come in afterwards. And this is usually a category 1 or 2. Sometimes it doesn't happen, but I'm noticing there is a pattern in these refinement dreams showing up. And then fourth, I'm going to call them integration dreams. And these are subtle shifts and different choices that are made in dream time that reflect the theme I'm working through. So it's like palpable relief and buoyancy typically accompany these dreams, and I'll see myself do something different in the dream than what I had been doing prior, and I have the felt sense that goes along with that. And these are also usually category 1 to 2 dreams. So with this, I've also been noticing an uptick in repeat dreamscapes, repeat dream characters, and repeat shape of dreams. So it's not quite the same as a dream repeated, but the form, shape, or sequence is the same, like similar message, different delivery. While I very rarely have actual classic reoccurring dreams, I'm seeing through my tracking that seemingly odd or random characters will make repeat cameo appearances to drive a point home, or the shape or form of a dream will be very similar to one but perhaps exaggerated, especially if I haven't been able to go through the whole dream work process with the first dream in the arc. So I tag all of these repetitions when they show up so that I can see the pattern as I look at the chart for the whole month. I'm also seeing there's a pretty direct link between these repeating patterns and sexuality showing up, which makes sense because sexuality is often the symbol used in dreams to evidence integration. So I think all of this is connected to the waveform arcs that I'm observing in dream content. As I move through internal challenges, growth, and themes in my waking life, I'm seeing the digestion of those themes, insights, and even directives around them showing up in my dreams. So these series of dreams, or what I'm calling cycle arcs, are also how I'm starting to notice the significance of category 1 to 3 dreams that otherwise may be easy to overlook. Without the tracking I've been doing, I would totally miss all of this, as it's not initially very obvious because it's coming out in the dream symbol associations and pattern tracking. All right, I'm going to wrap it up with that. Shout out to my dreamer for all the help and shifts that have been going on lately. I'm watching patterns in myself change, particularly around how my nervous system is responding to different situations that previously have been really challenging. Some of these changes are in areas that previously I'd wondered if I could ever shift, no matter what I approach them with. And I've tried a lot of things over the past 15 years, and I'm watching them change with like very little fanfare or drama. It's kind of crazy. And the shift is palpable in my nervous system and automatic behaviors, so it's pretty cool. Anyways, that is my update. I will see you guys next month with whatever comes through in these next few weeks. I will be posting videos like this once a month, so be sure to hit subscribe if you'd like to follow along. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you next time.